This is Wayne from My Tech News, and in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Nvidia Geforce Now service. Now, I know this service has been out for quite some time now in beta form, but this is the first time officially that the general public can actually have access to this actual service. Before I talk about the service and what this service is actually about, I want to say that there is two different tiers when it comes to this service. They have a free tier and then they have a paid tier, and there is a pretty big difference. The main difference being is if you get the free tier, you are going to be limited to 1 hour stream sessions, and on the paid tier, you are going to be limited to 6-hour stream sessions. Yes, there still is a time limit, but yes, 1 hour is just not enough for a lot of people, so you most likely will have to go with the paid tier, which the paid tier is going to be $4.99 a month. I think they give you the first 3 months for free, and then after that you do have to pay $4.99 a month. And then on top of the 6-hour limit they give you with the paid tier, you also do get some extra benefits. I'm not too sure what those extra benefits are, but you do get extra benefits. Now, Nvidia Geforce Now is going to be available on Windows, Mac, and Android. Unfortunately, at the time of this recording, it's not on any iOS devices. So if you're on a iPad or an iPhone, unfortunately, you are going to be out of luck when it comes to Nvidia Geforce Now. I am running Android right here, and here is the Google Play Store. Just go ahead and search for Nvidia Geforce Now, and you should be able to find it in the Google Play Store. So basically, what is Nvidia Geforce Now? Nvidia Geforce Now is just like the recently released Google Stadia service, or you can think of it as like an Xbox Games Pass. Not really in the same realm as Xbox Games Pass, more so in the realm of Google Stadia, where you're actually streaming games from the cloud. But keep in mind with this service, I think Google Stadia is just like this, but keep in mind with this service alone, you still have to pay for your games. So keep that in mind when you're trying to decide if this service is for you or not, because like I said, you do have to pay for your games. You don't rent the games. You don't pay a monthly subscription to actually rent the games. All the games you will be owning from different platforms on the PC. And the nice thing about this service is, alongside you owning the game and you being able to play it on your PC natively, is the fact that you can get these from different services on your PC. Like for instance, you can get them from Steam, you can get them from the Epic Game Store, you can get them from the one that EA owns, I think Origin. You can get them from a lot of different places. And the nice thing is, once you own them on whatever platform you want to buy your games on PC, like Steam, the Epic Game Store, or Origin, or wherever the case may be, you do play them from the cloud, and that's something I absolutely like. So if you want to play them natively on your PC, you can play them natively on your PC. If you want to stream them from the cloud, you can stream them from the cloud. And the nice thing about this service alone is the fact that you don't have to have anything else running in the background, like remote play on the PS4. You have to have the PS4 running, or on the Xbox One. If you want to play some games remotely, you do have to have the Xbox One on. So it is nice. Everything is streamed from the cloud after you buy the game. It just solely relies on your internet connection. And here is the actual games that they actually have that are actually promoting. Keep in mind, at this very moment, not every game is going to be supported that you do end up buying. So if you're strictly trying to decide on buying a game and you want to play it remotely, like on your smartphone or on a remote PC that maybe doesn't have a lot of power and it's not good for gaming, just be careful. Not every game is going to be supported, so you will have to be careful with that. And yeah, I've already owned some games. So basically, games that you've been owning on Steam for many years or many decades at this point, you don't have to worry about, because they will work on this software, and you don't have to worry about the power of anything that you're using. Everything is up in the cloud. Again, the only thing that'll determine your experience is actually going to be your connection. Of course, your connection will determine whether or not this service is going to be usable to you or not. And the nice thing about this service, especially if you're on Android, the latest version of Android, I think Android 10, you do actually get the ability to use controllers. Here is my controller right here. I am using a a Bluetooth PS4 controller right here. I do think that the Xbox One Bluetooth controller as well is most likely supported, and there's probably some third-party options that are Bluetooth controllers as well that are going to be supported. But you can see I am using a Bluetooth controller to actually play these games right here, and I do have a couple of games I do actually want to test out. The first game right here is going to be BioShock Infinite, so let's go ahead and jump into BioShock Infinite, and you can just go to the search bar at the top of the actual screen. Let me go ahead and show you. If you go to the search bar at the top of the Geforce Now application, you can actually search for your game, and it'll tell you if the game's compatible or not. So let's go ahead and actually boot up BioShock Infinite. There it is right there. It does say this game does require a gamepad, which I already have a gamepad right here. Don't worry if you don't have a gamepad at all, because it will bring up a virtual keypad or a virtual game controller on the screen if you don't have a controller right away. And it does say to play this game you must own it on Steam, because this is where this game is located. It's located on Steam as of right now, and you do have to buy the games. Again, this is not a service for people who are renting games or things like that. It's going to be for people who have a big Steam library, a big Epic Games library, a big Origin library. This is where this thing's really going to kick ass. And here it is right here. I'm just going to click play, and it's actually going to start playing the game right away. No problems whatsoever. You can see it is connecting to their service, because we are playing pretty much the game practically on their service and through the power of their connection and their computers at their headquarters through Nvidia. So it might take a little bit, and of course this experience will vary from person to person depending on your internet connection. I'm going to go ahead and deny this. It is going to bring up Steam right here. You can see it is logging into my Steam account, because you do have to verify your account. I'm just going to go ahead and click on agree, and then I am going to try to go to library right here and see if I can actually bring up the game that I actually want to play. I still want to play BioShock Infinite. Play BioShock Infinite, and there you go. It does say launching BioShock Infinite, and then in just a second it's going to load the game up. And here's where things start to become very, very interesting. What I will say is the experience on Nvidia Geforce Now is actually very mind-blowing, and I'm not even exaggerating when I actually say mind-blowing, because it's practically like you'd be playing your game natively on your computer, and that's something that's actually very amazing. We've had stuff like Google Stadia, we've had stuff like remote play on PlayStation, remote play on like Xbox One now, and things like that, but this is literally hands down the best way to play games. I love the fact you're not renting the games. I'm glad also they're getting your games from like Steam, Origin, Epic Games, so that means you don't have to worry about what if the service shuts down, because let's face it, especially Steam nowadays ain't gonna go anywhere. It just sucks that not every game supported on this. I'm not sure what the resolution of the game is running here, if it's running at like whatever the screen resolution is. My screen on here is a 2K screen, so a 1440p screen. I'm assuming it's probably scaled to my screen, and you can actually adjust the image if you want to make it slightly bigger. This is the default setting right there, so I'm just going to leave it at default, but you can zoom in if you want to make it a little bit bigger on the screen. Let me just go ahead and click on main game, and then click on continue. But from what I'm experiencing, for me, I've had no issues with this service, and this service plays phenomenally. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you can actually see this and things like that. You may not see it in the same exact resolution I'm seeing it, but from what I'm seeing it, it really does feel like I'm playing it natively on my smartphone, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I'm, again, not exaggerating when I say mind-blowing. I've never seen a service this fluid and this like realistic, and this service is honestly awesome. Now keep in mind, at my place I get around anywhere from 300 down to maybe 500 down, depending on the area I'm in, depending on what type of day I'm in, but I get very fast internet for the most part at my place. So again, if you see this test and you test it at your place and you're not getting the same results, that's most likely due to your internet connection, due to a whole bunch of different factors, so just keep that in mind. But theoretically, no matter what device you are, as long as your internet is good, you should be able to literally play this on like the cheapest laptop out there. Even I think a very bad Windows laptop, if you were to buy one for like $200, or a very cheap Android smartphone or Android tablet. So here we go right here. And yes, it's very fluid, very fast. It's very nice. It really does feel like I'm playing the game natively, and I'm not exaggerating. Right now, from what I'm actually controlling on the screen with my PS4 controller on the screen, if you can see me controlling it, it really does feel like I'm getting a solid 30 frames per second. It doesn't feel like 60, but it definitely feels 30, and it feels like a locked 30. And this is something I'm really gushing over because I really do think this is going to be the future of gaming. And if we can get things like this that play amazingly, oh my god, it's kind of cool now. You can take this thing around on the go with you and not have to have a PC going or anything like that. As long as you have stable connection and you log into whatever service all your games are stored. For me, it would be Steam. Oh my god. You can see I'm shooting. I can turn up the volume. I didn't want to make the volume too loud in this video, but I want to say I'm at the end of the game because I haven't played this in a while. I don't really know where to go in this game. I'm kind of like a noob at this game, but I've already beaten this game. If you haven't played BioShock Infinite, it's definitely one of the best first-person shooters to date. Let's see if I know where to go. I don't actually think I know where to go. Now, to be honest, it may still not be as crispy as if you were playing on like a dedicated computer with like a very powerful GPU and CPU. But just the fact that it's playing very smooth and it looks phenomenal. I'm not exaggerating, phenomenal. I'm very happy, and honestly, I can play the whole entire game like this and have no problems. Again, I haven't done a lot of testing with this service, so I don't know over time if the internet would drop, would it get more blurry, fuzzy, or would I lose frame rate and things like that. But in my area and in my conditions, I'm getting amazing testing out of this. I could test a lot of different games, but in my situation, I'm pretty sure this thing's going to hold up extremely well. And I just really wanted to show this off because this thing is the future, and it's freaking awesome. I'm playing on a smartphone that literally doesn't have enough power to be playing a game like this, and it looks beautiful. It really looks like 1080p or even 2K or whatever. It looks amazing. And I've tried other services in the past, so it's not like my first time actually trying game streaming of any sort. I've tried things like PlayStation Now, PlayStation Remote Play, and both of those were kind of iffy. But this one is not iffy at all, and it's cool. You don't have to have other hardware around with you. You just got to have a one device, the internet, and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about your home gaming PC on at all. My gaming PC is actually off at the moment, and this thing is running phenomenally, just like it would be on my gaming PC. That's why I love this service. I think this service is awesome. Again, results will definitely vary from person to person, and as we speak right now, there is some limitations. Like, for instance, you don't have any iOS support, so if you're on an Apple device, you're out of luck unless you have a MacBook. And then on top of that, you do have limitations on gameplay. Right now, I'm using the free-to-play version, so I'm only going to have an hour. And of course, let's be honest, an hour for gaming is not a long time. Even 6 hours may not be enough for some people who really do enjoy gaming. But yeah, just the fact that this thing is running as good as it is. And I honestly was not expecting Nvidia Geforce Now to run this smoothly. Honestly, I'm going to say I'm blown away. Definitely blown away, because it does not feel like I'm streaming this from the cloud whatsoever. Because like I said, I've tried so many other services, and they really did feel like I was streaming the game. You can tell it had some weird haze over the screen, or like the resolution was bad, or the frame rate was choppy, or was stuttery. But yeah, I actually heard though from this service alone, when you play some multiplayer games, you still have to be careful. Like, some people were testing out CSGO and things like that, and I heard that something wrong with the architecture of the game, where you can notice some frame rate stutters and things like that. But you have to keep in mind you're playing the game through the cloud. You're also playing a multiplayer game that requires connection too. The nice thing about this service, as well as if you own no games at all on any PC platform like Steam, Origin, or Epic, you can actually play free-to-play games. Like, for instance, you can play League of Legends, maybe. I'm not sure if that's supported, but I'm just giving you examples. I do know Fortnite is supported. If you wanted to play Fortnite, you can also play Dota, maybe. I know CSGO, I think, is free now, so you can try CSGO and things like that. So whatever games are free, a lot of the games are free. They said up to 30+ games are free to play now on PC, and they will work on this service. Again, another limitation of this service is going to be that not all the games are going to be supported right out the gate. A lot of them aren't supported, and some of your favorite games may not be supported. So yeah, this service still has a little ways to go, but at least first initial impressions, I am actually pretty blown away by this service. And before I go, I actually want to take it off and try another game. Let's see if I can go into Borderlands 2, because I think that's another game that I actually know. So let me go ahead and exit out of this real quickly and then switch to Borderlands 2 and see if that actually works. When I exit the desktop, it's just going to go back to the main Steam page. Let's see if we can actually back out of here. And I didn't fill any input with the controller as well, which is actually nice. Very, very fluid. Like, honestly, I'm not even exaggerating. I'm actually really blown away. Let's see if Borderlands 2 is I don't really have any game that's too graphically intensive, but I'm assuming it would work extremely well. So yes, I do own Borderlands 2. So let's go into Borderlands 2 and boot up Borderlands 2. What would actually be really amazing with this service, I've not tried this out, but it'd be really amazing if you can connect this to like a monitor or like mirror your screen to like a TV and actually play these games just like if you're playing an actual console. That would actually be very mind-blowing. Let me go ahead and click deny. Don't know why it wants me to bring up the speaker. Very weird. It's like they're spying on me or something, but go ahead and click agree. Library. Should bring up Borderlands 2. Okay, it is launching Borderlands 2. I know it's a much more older game, but like I said, I don't really have too much to test on this service. Let's go ahead and bring up Borderlands 2. And this will be the last game I am testing on this service. I wonder how long my battery has to... Okay. It's probably going to take a pretty big toll on my battery, but that's to be expected. Okay, let's play Borderlands. Okay, that was weird. I got like a little weird error code. Granted, I have not tried Borderlands 2 yet. So it's going to be very hit or miss on the games and things. Okay, it's loading Borderlands. Don't know why I got the error code. Borderlands is supported. Granted, this one's not the best example just because it is an older game, and you can run this on not too great of a hardware situation. But let's go ahead and test this out anyway and see what we're talking about here. It looks like on phones that have like full displays on the front and no bezel, you can't play truly full screen. It does cut off a little bit. Even if you want to zoom in, you just pinch your hands to zoom in and out. But I always leave it stock so nothing gets chopped off and it plays perfectly. But let's go ahead and see what Borderlands 2 is all about on this. Keep in mind, again, I want to make this clear one more time. Keep in mind that you do have an hour limit if you get the free version, which an hour is not enough time. Definitely not. So if you're trying to make this your main gaming solution and you own a lot of games on Steam or other platforms and you want to play them remotely, then yes, you definitely need to pay for the paid version. The paid version is not even that much. $4.99 a month to play all your Steam games or whatever games you own on PC. Yeah, I don't think I don't think this service supports all the different platforms on PC because there's a lot of platforms on PC, but there is the main ones like Steam, Origin, and Epic now, which Steam is the main source of you buying games. You shouldn't have a problem with compatibility. Most people buy most of their games on Steam on PC. But yeah, this one also feels nice. Again, the only downside to the two games I played so far is it really does feel like it's only 30 frames per second and not 60. But just the fact I'm controlling it right here, kind of like a portable laptop that's in my pocket, is mind-blowing. Honestly, this is very mind-blowing. It just has to do with the fact that it's very amazing. It feels like I'm playing on the actual hardware. I'm not even exaggerating. So smooth, so nice, amazing. Will this actually replace something like the Nintendo Switch? Should you go out and buy this? Honestly, it really depends what type of games you want to play and the fact that you do need internet wherever you go. Unlike the Switch, you know, with a lot of games that are single player, you can play those games on the go without an internet connection. That's the biggest hurdle with this one. You have to have really strong internet, which I have amazing internet at my house, enough to really support this thing. I'm not sure what the requirements are on like the bare minimum you need to actually play this. Let's actually try to see if I can actually fight somebody really quickly. You do have to keep in mind, I am trying to play this through a camera screen through the actual smartphone. and it's not like spot on. There is a slight delay. I can kind of notice it. So it wouldn't be as smooth as me playing it on my actual PC, but it is amazing. It's definitely better than something like PS4 Remote Play, which is very spotty, or something like PS Now, which I have tried in the past. Very, This one's amazing. The one I have not tried, to be honest, is Google Stadia. I just haven't had a way or a reason to really try Google Stadia. I want to see if there's any enemies around here. I haven't played this game in a long time, but yeah, you can see my character's level 34. So I played quite a long time with this character. And yes, shooting and everything like that is very fluid. If your internet's not up to snuff and everything like that, what I would recommend is playing a game that's not graphical intensive, or a game that's not heavy action based, or multiplayer games. I still think this is a service that may not do best with multiplayer games, like fighting games or online shooting games and things like that. But for single player experiences and things like that, you should be okay. I don't actually see any enemies, don't know why. Okay, there you go. I did see some frames actually drop in the actual image, so that wasn't the best or anything. I'm trying to see if I can find somebody to show you like how it is in heavy combat. Let me see if I can find something. Doesn't appear that I'm going to be able to find somebody right off the bat to show you like how smooth this thing will actually run. But I'm assuming there would actually be no problem. But yes, again, this is Nvidia Geforce Now running on an Android smartphone. And my overall experiences with this have been flat out amazing. I was actually testing it out earlier before I came on camera. Okay, there's some enemies. Now that I actually mentioned it. And yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. It plays phenomenally. Plays just like I'm playing it natively on my PC, and this is the future. And honestly, I'm not exaggerating when I say this is mind-blowing as long as you have very fast internet connections. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. Again, this is Nvidia Geforce. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News, signing out.